When you beg for someone's understanding, you give them power over your peace. That's not peace. That's a prison. Real strength is when someone disrespects you and you walk away quietly, not because you're proud, but because you respect yourself. True dignity doesn't need to argue, explain, or chase. It simply walks away. This kind of silence isn't weakness. It's discipline and self-control. It means you value your peace more than their reaction. And that silence can be powerful because when you stop reacting, people lose the control they once had over you. Silence makes people feel your absence more than they ever listen to your words. When you stop chasing or explaining yourself, others start to think and reflect. The more you talk, the less they listen, but when you go quiet, they start noticing what they lost. The Stoics understood this long ago. Silence makes others face their own behavior. When you stop reacting, you're saying, I saw what you did, but I respect myself too much to explain it. That silence doesn't come from ego. It comes from clarity. You realize that if someone truly cared, they'd ask. If they respected you, they'd reach out. You stop wasting your energy trying to make people understand your worth, because real peace comes from letting go, not from explaining. Your silence becomes your power. It shows you've moved on and that you don't owe anyone an explanation anymore. When you stay silent, you start to hear the truth more clearly. The world is full of noise and opinions, but silence helps you listen to your own heart. When you are hurt, confused, or betrayed, many people look for answers from others. They call friends, scroll on social media, or talk to the person who hurt them. But a wise person stays silent, not because they don't feel pain, but because they know real answers come from quiet reflection. As Marcus Aurelius said, pain doesn't come from what happens, but from how we see it, and we can change that at any time. When your mind is calm, the truth becomes clear. You start realizing things like, they never respected me, or I stayed too long, or I don't need closure, I need peace. These truths appear only when you stop talking and start listening. Silence helps you control your emotions and remember your values. When you react with anger, you lose peace. When you stay calm, you protect your dignity. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It's strength, focus, and wisdom. It helps you see people's true intentions without asking, and it guides you to respond with purpose instead of reacting with emotion. So when life feels heavy, don't rush to act. Be still, be quiet, and listen. The truth is already within you. Begging for closure only hurts you more and is a form of self-betrayal. Everyone wants that final talk, that explanation that makes things feel complete, but the truth is, if someone really cared, you wouldn't have to beg for closure. They would give it to you with respect. When they don't, silence becomes your closure. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, live it. That means you stop chasing answers from others and start healing yourself. When you beg for closure, you give control of your peace to the person who hurt you. You keep hoping for a talk that will fix things, but often you end up explaining yourself to someone who already moved on. Real closure doesn't come from them. It comes from accepting that they gave you all they could and that no explanation will change who they are. Once you accept that, you take your power back. Your silence becomes your goodbye. Silence also reveals truth. When you stop talking, people's real faces appear. Words can lie, but silence never does. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, what you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say. When you stay quiet, you see people's true patterns. Those who care will reach out. Those who used you will disappear. Those who try to control you will get angry because they lost power over you. Silence shows you who's real without arguments or tests. You don't need to confront anyone. Just watch their actions. People can ignore your words, but they can't ignore your absence. Silence gives you clarity and peace. It helps you stop believing promises and start believing patterns. That's the power of Stoicism, not coldness, but emotional discipline. So next time someone tries to talk their way back into your life, don't rush to respond. Stay silent and let the truth reveal itself. Not explaining yourself is one of the highest forms of confidence. When people misunderstand you, it's natural to want to defend yourself, but true strength comes from staying calm and not needing to prove anything. Trying to explain your worth to those who have already judged you isn't confidence, it's fear. Marcus Aurelius said not to waste your life worrying about others' opinions. And he was right. The person who doesn't explain himself isn't cold or proud. He's peaceful because he knows his truth. His actions and values speak for themselves. You might lose people who never truly understood you, but that's not a loss. It's alignment with who you really are. Most people don't want to understand you. They just want to control how you're seen. Your silence breaks that illusion, and while it may make them uncomfortable, the right people will respect you even more. You don't need to defend your peace or prove your boundaries. Your silence already says everything. Detachment in silence teaches the most powerful lessons. Walking away quietly without anger or drama shows real strength. As Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. When you go silent, people are left alone with their thoughts, guilt, and memories. Your silence tells them, I don't need to prove my worth. I won't stay where I'm disrespected. My peace matters more than this connection. Most people aren't used to that. They expect arguments, begging, or emotional reactions. But when you stay silent and walk away with dignity, you show them they've lost access to your energy. That's when the real lesson begins. People don't learn from words. They learn from distance. Your absence speaks louder than any demand for respect. And even if they never realize what they lost, you've already gained something greater: peace, strength, and self-respect. In silence, you stop trying to heal in front of those who can't understand your pain, and you finally start to heal yourself. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care too much about your peace and soul to stay in a place where you're not valued. That's why Stoics didn't react or chase validation. They let silence speak for them. You don't need to shout, I'm done. You can simply be done. That quiet strength is real power and unsettles those who once thought they controlled you. So don't fear detachment. Embrace it. Go silent and let people feel your absence. Deep inside, you already know the truth. You don't need to chase, beg, or explain yourself to prove your worth. You don't need to speak loudly to be heard or sacrifice your peace to make others comfortable. Stoicism isn't about being cold. It's about being clear. It's not detachment from love. It's detachment from chaos. Silence isn't weakness. It's control. It's choosing not to waste energy on what doesn't deserve it. True power is knowing your presence has value, even when you're gone. When emotions rise and you want to argue or explain, remember this. Silence may not win an argument, but it will help you win yourself back. Every time you stay calm instead of reacting, you strengthen your peace, your self-worth, and your dignity. So let your silence be your final word, not from ego or anger, but from deep self-respect. S.